This is Francine Wade, an on-air correspondent from In the Loop, and we're at the 32nd Stars Denver Film Festival, and we're going to go interview some folks. And are you working on any more projects right now?
I've got a couple in development in early stages. We have to have several things going at once.
Right.
That's the only way to work this. But I think Two Spirits is going to take a lot of work. It's sort of like running a marathon, and finishing the film is the first leg of the marathon,
right,
and then making sure people see it is the next. So that's where we are. We felt it was important to share the story of his life, who he was, and also this rich tradition that the Navajo have of 4 genders and a completely different way to approach sexuality and gender, and something that we thought would be very beneficial to people.
And so you're from Colorado?
Yes, we lived in Colorado at the time. Now we live in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And so the film has lots of strong Colorado connections,
right,
producers on the film, and there are wonderful ties between this film and Colorado. There is such a good opportunity for people to approach gender and sexuality from a more humane perspective. You know, there's so much discussion about these subjects in the media, but very often it doesn't go very deep.
Right.
And the Native American tradition, many tribes, not all of them, but many tribes have this rich history of multi-gendered people, integrated gendered people. And it felt like that if we could bring this story to the screen and many people could see it, we could be a part of that discussion and change people's minds and bring a fresh perspective to these issues.
And so this is opening night for you guys, right?
Yes, it's our world premiere.
Excited about
We're
this?
so thrilled to premiere in Denver. It's a wonderful full circle experience because the Denver Film Festival, as you know, is a very important festival. And also it's just so great that the story is being seen here for the first time. There's something that's just very right about that. The screening sold out. I think we're going to have strong interest in the film, and hopefully people will take this message out into the world, as we're hoping to do too, to find wider audiences for the film and its message.
And what kind of support did you get from everyone while you were making this film? The Two Spirits organization was involved?
Many organizations. In fact, there are over 50 organizations, nonprofits, who are on board to work with the film as outreach partners, so that when the film is released in a larger way across the country and even internationally, these organizations will be using the film in their education and outreach programs.
Where else is Two Spirits headed off to? You got any more festivals that it's going to? Or?
It's pending with a number of festivals right now, and we know that the film will be seen in North America and in Europe, and so we'll just work it around the globe. It'll probably take 2 or 3 years before the film is seen in all the places we'd like it to be seen, and then hopefully broadcast so that more people can see it.
How excited are you that Fred's story is getting out, to people, for everyone to hear?
Well, to me, I feel that this is what Fred wanted. He was always something to be out in the open and be popular. Want people to notice who he is, and who he was. And so in the, later in the future, people at his age and how he was won't be in the situation that he was in, like nothing to happen like that, I feel that his story should get out so for younger kids to know, that they don't have to experience something like this. I know it's hard to say that, but to me, I am so happy about it. I pray every day, and I feel that he's with me every day, every second, and I talk to him, I say, okay, Fred, let's go, and to me, I feel happy about it, that this finally took place. I think the reason why it took so long is because he was the type of person that was so picky. make sure this happens the way it is,
Yeah.
So I say that all the time. I say, well, Fred's there, I know. So that's the reason why it took so long, but it's finally happening, I am so excited. I'm so happy. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you think he'd be proud of this finished product?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have done a lot of dreams that he wanted, and I'm still doing it. I want to complete all the dreams that he wanted to do, and I'm still doing it. I know he's happy.
Yeah.
I know. Yes, he is. He would be so happy. And I would like to say, there's a lot of people that helped us out ever since this happened. Mm-hmm. And I like to thank all those special persons that helped us out and still standing by me, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank each one of them. They know who they are.
My name is Anuksa, little man, a little person. Very pleased to be here. It's a wonderful welcome we've received from Denver in behalf of the film, in behalf of the Native communities. I'm pleased to introduce members of the Denver Two-Spirit Society. We will have a song shared by them as a prayer before the film opens. If you're able to rise, we invite you to rise. The song is a prayer for the film.
In the life of this place we call America, there is nothing more traditional than two-spirit people.
We were getting married here long before it was a glimmer in the eye of Stonewall.
He really wasn't breaking rules. He was simply trying to be himself, and bless him for it.
We really think that this is a film that is much needed in a lot of the Native community and in the regular community, so that we can bring more awareness about Two-Spirit traditions and culture. We sort of sat around wondering how we can bring to light the Two-Spirit issue and the traditions, because the traditions of Two-Spirit people have been around for thousands of years. We've been practicing the Two-Spirit tradition amongst all the nations in Canada and the United States. We just want to educate people on bringing light to that, and we think this film can help us do that. It is very important that everybody be treated equally, because in the Two-Spirit tradition, everybody has a purpose, everybody has a place, and everybody is treated with respect. Most importantly, the Two-Spirit people, they're considered holy, they're considered of high esteem in a lot of the Native traditions.
I was just a member of the community when the murder took place, and very quickly afterwards I became very close friends with Pauline Mitchell. My response was, and the rest of the community was, that we wanted just to make sure that she was honored, that Fred's memory was honored, that it really be thoroughly investigated and really adequately, aggressively prosecuted.
This film is the first film that I know of that really talks about these issues of gender, issues of respecting diversity, issues of traditional values from the Native American community that can really educate all of us, both within the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community, and really the entire culture, because we live in a world where, gender is very binary, very restricted, very structured, and if you color outside those lines, and Fred certainly did, there are consequences, and I think we as a culture need to think about what those consequences are and how to end the violence and the harm and the hate and the prejudice that comes from that.
Cathy's absolutely right. This is a movie about what happens when people don't conform, and it's a way of understanding. It's a way of understanding conformity in all of its faces, and how it can transform people to sort of rethink their assumptions about what constitutes gender, what constitutes a hate crime.
It has been, in the way that many documentary films are, a true labor of love. And I think that Lydia's right when she says this is a film that we hope can change the world. And I think it's that one person at a time thing. Anybody can see this film and they cannot walk out not thinking, I never really thought about these issues that way. And that is a success. That starts a conversation, and that's the goal. That's the goal, is to really talk about, anything that makes someone different is never something they should be targeted for. It's something we should actually celebrate, and that's what we learned from the tradition of the Two-Spirit.
And how important was it to you?
Well, the movie's like a symphony of humanity. It's all of different kinds of perspectives, and Lydia really did work really, really hard to draw a number of different perspectives, different personalities together to create a story that's about humanity more than any other single thing. And Fred's humanness and the culture and the cultures that surrounded that.
I think one of the most interesting things about the film is that if you approach it as this is a story about a young man who was killed in a hate crime who, was two-spirit, meaning that he was both, encompassed both the masculine and the feminine in his personality and his world and his demeanor and his expression, you're really missing the point. The point of this film is that anyone can watch this and find a way to identify with what happened to Fred. And that's an extraordinary thing to pull off. And Lydia has managed to pull that off. And I think for that reason, it's going to be amazing to see what happens after today when this film is sort of like put out into the world.